Leanne Peters here. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook, and Temple of Balance on YouTube. And I'm here to pull some cards and share some guidance for this week ahead. That's this week starting Wednesday, the 16th of August, through till Tuesday, the 22nd of August, 2023. So, welcome. While you're coming over, I want to send out a big, extra special welcome to my Temple of Balance patrons, my Pillar of Light members, and all of those of you who support my work through my website. Thank you so much for your support. I'm coming to you live now from Tasmania, Australia, where it is Wednesday, 9:49 a.m. So welcome. Hi, Regina. Welcome, everybody. Let's get some cards happening. Well, actually, if you're new to watching, what I'm going to do is use my Oracle cards that I created. I've got two decks combined here, the Animal Kingdom Oracle with the Speed of Light Oracle cards, and they've been combined to make a 110 card deck. So I'll be using this deck. Hi Kathleen, hi Cora. I'll be using this deck to find the best cards that the majority of us need at this time. Hi Snake. I'll be looking for the best cards for the majority of us. I'm not pulling cards for individuals. This is general guidance for everyone. So I trust you've been led here for a reason. I trust that something shared supports you, and please think of this as a guide only. So last week's theme was the Orca whale, and the Orca, that card is about our purpose and finding purpose. And this might be something, hi Matt, this might be something that a lot of us at this time have been questioning and really looking at our purpose and how we can find purpose on a daily basis. But also a lot of us are looking at the long term, you know, what do we want for next year? What do we want for the months and potentially years to come? So there's a lot of that kind of energy around at the moment, which matches our theme from last week. But we've started a new reading week, so I'm now shuffling the cards and asking the cards to show the majority of us what we need to know for this week starting the 16th of August through till the 22nd of August 2023. And I trust the best cards will find their way to the top of the deck based on the way I choose my cards. I'm going for these, so I'm laying them face down. We're going to do pairs. 2, 2, 2. They're all Speed of Light. So we've got 6 Speed of Light Oracle and 2 Animal Kingdom, and they're in 2 pairs, diagonal pairs, 2, 2, 2, 2, 4 lots of 2. So I'll just actually move them together a little bit, and I'm going to turn them over. So yes, we've got 6 Speed of Light. So the Speed of Light Oracle cards tend to cut straight to the truth. They are no nonsense cards. Hi Rebecca. No nonsense. So they'll be cutting through to the truth. Let's turn them over and see what we've got here. Okay. Oh, okay. We've got a dragon. So we also have a featured card. So we've got 1 dragon from the Animal Kingdom Oracle cards. So there are potentially 5 dragons. So hit me with your dragon guesses. If you don't know what the dragons are, they're going to be one of the 4 elements or the spirit dragon. So earth, air, fire, water, or spirit. So hit me with your guesses. I'll be talking about that much later because that's at the end of the week. But we do have 1 featured card, which is the medicine pouch. This came up recently. It has further instructions here which say to trust your instincts, fan the deck, and pull a card. So I'll go back to my deck and I'm going to fan it, and I'm just going to go this card here to add to the medicine pouch. So the owl, we'll talk about that later. So let's start. I'm going to do these, we'll do these one at a time for now. Thanks guys. Okay, so this is for Wednesday the 16th of August, and we have the Temple of Maya, card 51, and it says manifestation, revelation, and ching ching purpose. This is I really like this card because it has structure, it has foundation, it has something very grounding and down to earth about it. It can talk about a structure or a building of some sort that's of significance. So this will be something other than your everyday sort of building or home, but there might be changes or things happening, or you're going to somewhere new that you don't usually go to on Wednesday. So this is can be talking about a building, but it's about creating structure and more building up from the foundations is the feeling with this card. And some of us might find ourselves doing that in our life and in different aspects of our life, where perhaps we've been working on creating solid foundations and now we're building the scaffolding up in our life to prepare to build the walls. Actually, that makes me laugh because I'm literally building a wall. I can certainly relate to this, not that I'm doing that today, but I can look at my wall that I'm in the process of making. So it feels like the foundations have already been laid. So the foundations are there. We've already perhaps established clearly, or as clearly as we're able to at this point, what we want to build in our life. And we might be putting up the scaffolding, we might be putting up the walls and really bringing things together in a structural way in our life. Could be literally building. It could be the literal building could be translating to us building something for ourselves that has a more long-lasting benefit, we could say, or a long-lasting time frame. Something that we want to build, something that we want to create for the long term. That's the feeling with this card. It also brings with it purpose, which is certainly around as a theme still in sort of coming on from last week's theme around purpose. So finding purpose, a sense of belonging, a sense of meaning and depth in our life. So the Temple of Maya. Now for Thursday, the 17th of August, we have card 2 called Prayer. And this says, ask help, answers and improvement. So this is about putting out there what it is that we need in our life. And it could be areas of our life that we're trying to improve, or answers that we're looking for. This also matches up with the current energy report that I've literally just written about really getting clear about our question. If we feel confused about something in our life, let's cut all the confusion out and get down to the core key question. And it's probably something pretty simple. And when we have a really clear key question and we sit with that and we sit with it for a few days or a few weeks or whatever might be applicable to our situation, then the answer comes more clearly. So this is certainly in alignment with that as well. And we're being encouraged and reminded to really sit with what feels best in our heart. Our insecure mind will try and talk us out of things. So it's quite likely that whatever we might feel uncertain or confused about, that we actually know deep down inside what we need to do. But our insecure mind is probably throwing up all sorts of other scenarios. What if this? What if that? Or maybe you could do this, or maybe you can't do that. It's probably what our insecure mind's kind of doing to try and unsettle us from those core foundations inside of us that really knows what we need to do. So help is also around as well. If you need help, ask for it on Thursday. People aren't mind readers. So if you find yourself anxious and frustrated because you're not getting the help that you need, wind it back a bit and recognize if you're actually asking for that help. Because often we push help away without realizing it, especially when we need it. So ask for the help that you need if that's where you're at. Now, Friday the 18th of August is card 31 called Expression. And down here it says communication, listen, share, deliver, and trust. So this is about communicating, but not necessarily with physical words. That expression is so much, or can be so much more than that. Yes, it can include words, but there is more to communication and expression than that. So let's also pay attention on Friday if we are really listening to the communications that are coming to us from other people, but also looking at how we are or aren't communicating very well with ourselves. So this comes really back down to that question answer thing as well, because that is part of improving or refining our communication with ourselves. It's getting a clear key question, for example, and then feeling our way towards the clear answer, which is listening, really. So there feels to be a big emphasis around communication. There may be miscommunications too around at the moment. So we're really being encouraged to maybe ask more questions if we need to get clarification, just to make sure we understand what's been communicated by others more clearly. Trust in what you need to say, and it might be a good time on Friday to clear the air or say what needs to be said if that's where you're at. Hi Karen, welcome. Okay, Saturday the 19th of August. Saturday we've got card 20 for the 19th, and it's Rosemary. And Rosemary says beauty, self-love, kindness and balance. Hi Sherry. And she's about reconnecting with ourselves. There is this really strong energy around at the moment too that is calling us inward into what I call, in regards to the healing energy cards categories, is rest, into a place of rest, a place of healing, mending, reassessment, catching up on sleep, but a reconnection with ourselves. So it's in some ways a bit of a withdrawn or an inward pull is present at the moment. And this is strong also for Saturday, coming up with this card, as we're encouraged to reconnect with what's important to us. There might be some replenishment or nurturing that's needed for our body as well, especially on Saturday, but in general at this time. And where are we at with our balance? This might be something that we might benefit from asking ourselves, especially on Saturday. How is our current state of balance? Are we out of balance? If so, why? Are we trying to maintain our balance? If so, how do we do that? What's knocking us out of balance? What's bringing us into balance? And really figuring out all those kinds of things in regards to our balance to help us find that center place where our balance point is. Sometimes our balance point is fine and small and kind of difficult to find, especially if we've been feeling oversensitive or over stressful or over pressured. It can be a very fine, small place where our balance is found. And if we're in a pretty good place, if things are flowing pretty well for us and we're pretty settled, then that space of balance becomes larger and it's a bit easier to find and maintain our balance. So because there's quite a sensitivity around at the moment, some of us may find that it's sort of like walking a really fine line at the moment with our balance, and we may tip over pretty quickly, like just a small breeze or a little push, and we're off balance and out of alignment. So this may be something we need to really be attentive to this week, especially on Saturday, to look at how we can restore our balance or walk that line, especially if it feels fine at the moment. How can we stay on track? Another way of looking at it might be, how can we stay on the surfboard while we're riding these waves at this time, rather than getting tossed off every time we try and get up on this surfboard. So how can you stay on the surfboard and ride the wave and ride this through? How can you stay on that fine line? How can you find that center point in the circle of balance? It might feel like one of those wobble board sort of things. When I was a kid, we had this circle sort of thing that had a ball underneath, and you had to find your balance, otherwise you'd be tipped off. And it feels a little bit like that. So our balance may be a bit unstable at the moment, and that's really normal. So a Saturday feels a great time to look at how can we restore that, how can we return to our balance, and what that means for us. On Sunday, which means we're going to have a lot of cards for Monday and Tuesday. On Sunday, the 20th of August, we have Twin Flame, card 39. And it says, union, love, togetherness, equal and effort. This is highlighting romance, love, or a union, or a nice time for connection with other people, especially with our most intimate partner, if that's applicable to you. So a great day for reconnection in the area of love. It's also great to also, if we extend that sort of relationship and look at other relationships that we have, friendships, family, people that we care about in our life, it would be a great time too to connect with people on that more intimate level, not necessarily romantically, but having a good conversation or spending some good quality time with someone that we love and someone that we care for. This is showing that we're potentially seeing eye to eye with another person on Sunday and being on the same page. So it might be a great time to have really deep conversations and spend some good quality time with people or someone that's important to us. This card also implies effort, and like with all relationships, every relationship requires effort. So if you find yourself really missing someone, or you've been so busy that you've kind of neglected your relationship with your children or your parents or your best friend or your partner, then Sunday may be a great day to spend some really good quality time with that person and put the effort in to do so. Because, we all know time goes by so quickly. And before we know it, it may be months before we actually make that connection. So it might be great over this next couple of days to plan something for Sunday, or see if someone's available that we can really connect with and reunite with on that more intimate personal level. So that's for Sunday. Now Monday the 21st, we'll go with these two cards for Monday the 21st. We have got the Medicine Pouch and the Masked Owl, and they've come up together for a reason. So I'm going to look at them separately first, and then we'll look at their relationship together. This is Medicine Pouch, card 54. It was our theme card, I think, the week before last. And down here it says, resources, gather, knowledge, and collect. So this is on Monday especially. This is an important time to look at gathering our resources. It might be things like looking at our budget, or looking at our bills or our debt, and look at how we can get back in charge of these things. How can we squirrel a little bit of money aside, or get some debt paid off quicker, and it almost feels to me like the thing, especially finances, that may be taking our power away, where it might be really difficult in some areas in regards to finances. So we may need to look at how we can conserve or save or collect or gather together our resources, especially financial is the feeling on Monday. So it might be worth setting up a new schedule or routine for ourselves in regards to how we manage our finances as well. This may be really important. It feels like doing this will help give us our power back, and it might not be something that we get our power back from immediately, but if we're looking at things more in the long term, which seems to be quite prevalent at the moment, then in 1 year's time, let's say around the 21st of August 2024, if we take steps on Monday and at this time to put a little bit of money aside, or look at being more strict perhaps with our spending, or whatever is applicable for us, in 1 year's time, what might that look like? Might that look like clearing some of our debt? Might that look like saving some money for a holiday? Might that mean maybe we'll be on top of things a little bit more? So there's a sense of looking at the long term and how we can get our power back, especially in regards to finances. And it comes up with the owl, the Masked Owl, card 49, and it says, be optimistic. So this is about being hopeful and staying optimistic and not giving up, especially in regards to whatever your situation is like with your finances or your resources. And stay hopeful. Get back in charge of your resources, and especially your finances perhaps, and look at preparing yourself for the long term and staying hopeful and optimistic. Things are going to work out, things are going to be okay, and prepare yourself as much as you can to to do that. So it's a time of gathering, collecting resources, and staying hopeful about where you find yourself on that front of things in your life. But if you don't do anything about it, then you're just going to feel the same way probably, or even worse in a year's time. So picture yourself, where would you like to see yourself financially in a realistic way in 1 year's time, in 12 months, say around the 21st of August 2024? Where would you like to see yourself, and how can you get there from today? So does that mean putting a little bit of money aside? Does it mean sacrificing some luxury that you enjoy each day or each week so that you can get back in charge of your finances and be in a better position in, say, 12 months' time? That's just an example, but it might be, say, 3 months or 2 years or 10 years. I mean, so, but it starts today. If we don't do anything about it today, then we're going to have the same problem again in another year, or it could even be worse. So just something to think about. Now, this is not a trick, but it's funny, when I turned over the last two cards, which were the only animal kingdom at the time, we had another dragon come up. So before we look at the actual dragon, we also had the sea dragon, and I thought, because this is sort of technically as dragon in its turn, but we've got two dragons coming up for Tuesday, and I'll show you the actual other dragon, the literal dragon, in a minute. But we'll talk about this card first for Tuesday, the 22nd. It's the sea dragon, and it says, be gentle with yourself. There is a fragility, a sense of being fragile or sensitive, maybe taking things a bit personally too on Tuesday. So there is a sense here we may need to, I just see putting a bit of a shell around us, or a bit of an armor around to protect ourselves from vulnerabilities and things that we know, or people that we might be around that we know tend to pull us down, or tend to stir us up in a sensitive way. So there is a sense of being a bit guarded on Tuesday, especially in regards to our emotions. There's also a feeling here with the sea dragon about flow and camouflage, so blending in situations, and there might be this call to blend in a little bit more than, say, being the boisterous loud one, for example. We may want to sort of settle into the background just a little bit more than usual on Tuesday, and see how that works for us, especially if we are feeling a little bit more sensitive and vulnerable than normal. So that's the sea dragon. And then the dragon that's come up for Tuesday is the fire dragon. So the fire dragon is card 23, and it says this is a powerful time of change. So change is not only in the air, change is in the works. Change is happening. The ball is rolling in the area of change, it feels like. This is personal, internal, but also external change. So things are happening. This is not, unless there's something new that you're preparing to step into, this doesn't feel like anything that we would be a surprise to us. This feels like something that we've been preparing for. It takes me back to the first card, actually, where we've already built the foundations, and now we're building the scaffolding or the walls, and we're bringing things together. That's what it feels like with this card. So change is underway. It's underway. It's happening. There might be a feeling that in some cases that we want to turn back and we want to change the course that we've already started, and in some instances that might still be possible, but it might be something we need to deeply kind of question or explore, and because it feels like we need to pursue and we keep moving forward. The fire element also brings this alignment with our purpose in some ways, our purpose, our direction, our passion that wants to fire up inside us. And there is also a feeling with the fire that there is an equal balance point here of releasing and letting go of the old. So it feels like a door wants to close and a door wants to open at the same time. So we might be working that out at the moment as well. As we move towards the new and we're building this new for our life, there's old things that just going to have to go now. We can't do everything. and we have to work out what is best for us to take into this next phase of our life, and what do we need to leave behind, and um, recognize that the time has come for us to move forward. So there are our cards for Tuesday. So thank you. So lots around purpose still, clarification, and there's strong energy around. I'm going to pull a theme card to go in just a moment. Before I do, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button. Please show us some love. Please comment, please share if you're inspired to. And if you'd like to connect more privately, please send us a message through our website. If you'd like to grab yourself a deck of my cards, you can work with them together or separated, it doesn't matter. You can grab a deck on my website. I've also got my online classes coming up on Friday the 18th, so our next card reading club, and also my next online art class, which I highly recommend. So please have a look on my website if you'd like to explore those, or my cards, or anything I do at Temple of Balance. Visit templeofbalance.com.au. Okay, let's grab the best card for the theme. So the theme card will help bring this whole week together and help us see the bigger picture for this week ahead. This is a good card, and whatever its message is, to keep in mind as you're going through the week. So I re-listen and re-watch the video a couple of times a week just to get the specifics on the day, but I keep the theme card in mind for the week. So the best card for the theme for the majority of us from the 16th to the 22nd of August 2023 is this, another Speed of Light Oracle, and it's the Sacred Haven card 5, and this is a really nice card to get. It says gratitude, connect, reflect, and stand still. This is about stopping and smelling the roses, or stopping to count our blessings. This is gratitude. This is making time to stop and really appreciate where we are, who's in our life, our good health, perhaps, the abundance that we have around, whatever is good that's happening in our life. Let's appreciate and find time to appreciate that this week. And, you know, in between things, you know, when I like to call them pockets of time, where I might have 10 minutes before the washing's finished. So I've got 10 minutes to do something, clean up or whatever, or I might be driving somewhere or waiting in the traffic, or I might have a little pocket of time. It could be 5 minutes, it could be half an hour, where I can do something. So finding those little pockets of time to practice our gratitude, and just to really take some big breaths and take stock of where we find ourselves and how far we've come. And if we're not really liking parts about where we are right now in our life, then it's also a great opportunity for us to really recognize those clearly, so that we can start making some changes. So practicing genuine gratitude, if it's hard to do as well, because maybe you've got a lot of really difficult, challenging things that you're dealing with, and you can't really think of anything to be grateful for, then maybe strip it back to your breath. Hopefully you feel grateful that you're breathing today. And we know there are a lot of those that we've loved in the past that aren't. So that's a real privilege and a real honor that we have our breath. Maybe you've got some warm clothes to wear, or a roof over your head, or a comfortable bed to sleep in. Maybe you've got some food to eat today, or something nice to drink. All these just basic survival things, we can strip all the other things we think we should be grateful for back down to those, and practice genuine gratitude with those basic survival things that we do appreciate. And then we can expand our gratitude from there. Maybe there's someone that's consistently there for you that you can be grateful for, either just in your heart, in your head, but maybe you can tell them. Tell the people that are there for you how grateful you are that they're there in your life. Tell them how grateful you are that you can spend time with them, and that you have this great conversation, or that you get to do this thing together, that you get to talk to each other at this time. Or, you know, there are a lot of things to appreciate, and if things were taken away, what would you miss? Well, then, you know, practicing gratitude for those is really valuable. So making time to practice gratitude stopping, smelling the roses, and really seeing the things that are working in our life, because sometimes we spend too much time stressing about the things that aren't working, but there are many things that are. So I want to thank you so much for joining me today, and I trust you have a great week ahead. Happy birthday, happy anniversary if you're celebrating, and I'll be back to share with you again very soon, but especially on Friday for my next online event. So take care of yourself, and bye for now.